It was late November, and the first snow had already blanketed the woods behind my house. I'd always loved the quiet solitude of winter, the way the world seemed to pause under the weight of the cold. But that year, the snow brought something else, something I still can't explain. It started with the footprints. I noticed them one morning as I stepped outside to shovel the driveway. A single trail of prints, barefoot, cutting across the yard. They didn't lead to the house or the shed. They just appeared out of the woods, circled the edge of the property, and vanished back into the trees. I told myself it was a prank, maybe some kids messing around. But deep down, I knew better. No one would walk barefoot in this weather. No one human, anyway. A week later, the prints returned. This time, there were more of them, dozens, crisscrossing the yard like a maze. They circled the house, pressed up against the windows, and even climbed the steps to the porch. My dog, usually fearless, refused to go outside. He'd stand at the door, growling at nothing, his hackles raised. I tried to convince myself it was just an animal, but the prints were too precise, too deliberate. They looked like human feet, but the toes were too long, the arches too high. Then came the sounds. Late at night, I'd hear scratching at the windows, like fingernails dragging across the glass. I'd grab my flashlight and peer outside, but there was never anything there. Just the prints, fresh and glistening in the moonlight. One night, I heard a voice, a low, guttural whisper that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. It didn't speak words, just sounds, like someone trying to mimic human speech. I locked the doors and loaded my rifle, but the voice didn't stop. It followed me through the house, echoing in the walls, under the floorboards, in the back of my mind. The final straw came when I found the effigy. It was hanging from a tree at the edge of the woods, just beyond the property line. A crude figure made of sticks and mud, with a face carved into the bark. Its eyes were hollow, its mouth twisted into a scream. Around its neck was a necklace of bones, small, delicate, unmistakably human. I didn't touch it. I didn't even get close. I just stood there, frozen, as the wind howled through the trees and the voice whispered my name. I moved out a week later. The house is still there, empty and crumbling. But I'll never go back. Sometimes, though, I dream about the woods. I see the prints in the snow, leading me deeper and deeper into the trees. And I hear the voice, calling me, waiting for me. I don't know what it wants, but I know it's still out there, watching, waiting.